Alrighty, welcome back to Brojo. Today we're going to be reviewing the top 5 books that I've ever read on how to be more confident by being more honest. Very little specific niche there, but ultimately I think this is the only topic worth focusing on if you want to build strong social confidence. Okay, learning how to be yourself, what that actually looks like in real life. So here are my top 5. Number 1, Radical Honesty by Blanton. Now, my own views on honesty are taken a whole lot further by Brad. He really goes into the idea of just saying anything that comes into your mind as soon as it comes up. This is where I got the idea of making a mess and then cleaning it up. So rather than trying to get something nice before you say it, and even if that causes a whole lot of problems, you can work out those problems, but get it all out all the time. And by the end of the book, he goes quite deep into philosophy of self. He goes quite deep into how expressing yourself honestly creates a sense of presence and connection with the world. At the start of the book, he's just talking about how to kind of provocatively make waves, polarize people, make sure they either love you or hate you, make sure you're pushing away bad connections and bringing in good fit connections through honesty. None of the books I've ever read in my life have been this direct about honesty itself, about what it is and how raw and honest to be in your everyday interactions. Thoroughly recommended. I personally do a more considered version of honesty. I don't just blurt everything out. I kind of think it through before I speak. But ultimately, if you're somebody who's stuck in people-pleasing and dishonest patterns, radical honesty is a great way to break out of this and kind of start fresh. Book number 2, Models by Manson. Now, during the pickup artist phase, well, I guess it's still ongoing, but when it really blew up, there was a lot of emphasis on dishonesty and deception and manipulation. And one of the only people to come through with something different was Manson when he released the book Models, which is about attraction through honesty. Now, what he talks about is a lot from his own personal experience of how he used to just go out and meet people by being very, very honest with them. About everything, as good, as bad, as light, as dark. He'd let a sense of humor out, he would question people and challenge them. He'd do all the stuff that a lot of the other things in the pickup industry were condemning at the time. A lot of other people were saying you got to hide all these things about you, you got to pretend to be this, pretend to be that, pretend to be alpha. And Manson came out with a book saying, nah, just be yourself and let them decide. Who gives a fuck what they think? And to this day, even though that's an older piece of work of his, to this day, if you really want a book on dating and you're obsessed with the whole pickup thing, but you want to be honest, then I'd say this is the great kind of compromise there. He will give you strategic techniques for meeting people and everything, and there's still, in my opinion, a little bit of a focus on trying to get something rather than just to be honest. But that being said, it really does work. Okay, and you won't have to pretend to be anything. You can go and just blast your personality out there and let everybody decide for themselves. He's also got some great insights in the book as to, well, a lot of people in the pickup artist industry will basically claim you can be attractive to everyone if you get it all right. He's quite clear, no you won't be, no matter who you are, and how to accept that. How to come to terms with the fact that some people are just not going to like you. How to identify those people as quickly as possible and get away from them as quickly as possible until you find the people who do. And I really like that he acknowledges that nobody is going to be attractive to everyone. So there's no point in even trying to be that. Instead, just be yourself and let people who are naturally attracted to you come through. Book number 3, No More Mr. Nice Guy. One of my favorites by Dr. Robert Glover. This one's very specific for the people pleaser type, or for people with what's called nice guy syndrome. And what I like about this book is he really emphasizes just how full of shit nice people are. They're constantly patting themselves on the back for being so kind and compassionate and caring and saving the world from all its disasters, when the truth of it is they're just absolutely amoral and manipulative, just like I was. Reading this book was a big kick in the face for me. I was so proud of being nice. I was so sure that I was a good person until I read this book and realized, actually, I'm just a bullshit artist. A very good one, who's able to make people like me by manipulating them with nice behaviors. What I loved about this book is it showed me that manipulation, while it got me short-term rewards, long-term I lost. Okay? There was a reason I couldn't form deep relationships and friendships. There's a reason I was struggling with the whole dating and romance scene. And the whole being nice thing, that dishonest performance that I was putting on, was the reason. So that was probably the most influential book I've ever read, because I personally was deep in nice guy syndrome. So it doesn't mean it's going to be the best one for everybody, but for realizing the impact that dishonesty is having on your confidence and on your social connections, this book is the one. Number 4. This is a nice short book, really to the point, Lying by Sam Harris. So Sam Harris is a neuroscientist, author, public speaker who I admire greatly, and I just binge on his YouTube videos all the time. And when he talks about honesty, he's talking a lot more about truth. So honesty is about saying what you think, and truth is what you think lines up with reality. Okay, so you can be honest and not be truthful, right? You can say what you think, but you're wrong. Whereas Sam Harris, in his entire body of work, is focusing on what is true and trying to get away from what isn't. What I like about the book Lying, it's just a short, sharp hit where he clearly lays out a very logical and reasonable argument as to why even tiny lies are detrimental to your quality of life. Even white lies. He's very focused on the smallest lying and how you constantly condone this, for yourself and for others. You say it's always okay to tell a little white lie, and he talks about actually it's devastatingly not okay to do that, and your whole life will suffer because you're doing that, and how quickly you can free yourself from this by just not doing it. It's a very simple message. It's a short book, but very powerful. If you still think, nah, there's sometimes when I have to lie, see if you still think that after reading this book, okay? Because I couldn't. Seriously, I couldn't. The last one is one of my favorite redemption stories. Number 5 is The Truth by Neil Strauss. Now, Strauss is the author of The Game, which was, without doubt, the catalyst for this huge wave of pickup artistry. Now, in The Game, Neil Strauss is constantly advocating deception and manipulation to make women like you, okay? And because he was very good at the manipulation, he was grooming people very well, you might say, he got a lot of sex and everything. Worked really well for him. So he was a big advocate for it. Even though in the book he starts to hint that being dishonest with one particular girl who he really liked didn't quite work. Well, what's great about The Truth is as kind of sequel, if you will, is that after years of being a sexual, I was going to say predator, but shall we say amorous man, he developed a sex addiction. Okay, he became obsessed with it, was cheating on his girlfriend, fucking up his whole life with this thing. And in The Truth, he just goes through his attempt to find a healthy way to have relationships and to have sexual connections and intimacy. And what I love about The Truth is just how fucking honest he is about himself in the book. And his family and everything. This is one of the most revealing books I've ever read, where someone just lays out everything about who they are, their intentions, their jealousies, their insecurities, their manipulation. He just lays it all out. Just through the case study that is his life, if you read The Game and then read The Truth, you'll see that he was searching for honesty the whole time. And he was so far away from it, and it seemed to be working for him, but it was actually destroying him psychologically. And then later on, in The Truth, you see him learn how to form real connections through just being totally, blatantly honest all the time about everything he's thinking and feeling. And really lines up with the radical honesty approach that Blanton also talks about. So it was great for me to read The Truth by Strauss, because I felt like he had finally found the way. When I finally went off pickup and started going into being honest, I'd read The Game again and be like, oh dude, you're miles away, like, God, you're just going down the wrong path. And then reading The Truth, I was like, he found the same path that I found. We both went in that direction. We found honesty, and then we just dug into it and healed ourselves. So those are my top 5. And by top 5, I mean they're the top 5 that influenced me the most and helped me discover genuine, honest confidence in the social world. So, what to do next? There's 2 things I want you to do. First off, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. It helps support me, it makes me feel good about myself, and helps me build up my audience. So I really appreciate that. And then, of course, you'll be the first to receive all my new content. And number 2, if you like this particular topic, the value of honesty, at Brojo University, we've got a course on the value of honesty, how to step into being more honest so that you can build your social confidence. If you email me, dan@brojo.co.nz, I'll give you free access to that course, which is usually members only. All you have to do is email me and share this video on your social media. Okay? That's all I ask. I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Cheers.